Hello everyone and welcome to the next and last episode of Hunter Garage, Hunter the Reckoning story. Last time when we started we talked a little bit about a storyteller and the storyteller's power over the story and how it wins. Well, we also talked about when this power ends, when it subsides and gives place to the power of the players. Our story has roots in the character sheets of all of the players here at the table, in their backstories, in their desires, in their ambitions. This is the roots that we've based the whole story together. And I, the storyteller, made sure that the story grew with us and we built up from there. But now, as we grow up and up throughout the story, the branches start to appear. And today, as our story will slowly go towards its end, these branches will appear. There are no bad decisions that you may take. There are no good endings. And maybe there are no worst endings either. Whatever decisions you will make, they are valid. And I will be starting this session with some of these decisions. But before we will get there, everyone, I would like to introduce you to our new interactive map, which we're going to be using today. The map has tokens, as you can see, which we'll be able to move to easily showcase where we are here on the map. There is one face which you may not recognize, and the face is here in the track. This is our dear Elizabeth Everly, now in the Monster X track together with Riot, as of the ending of the last session. The pawns that you will see here, the chess pieces, are representatives of the most important armed members of Monster X who are going to be around the mansion or maybe inside the mansion, depending on what happens. One of them, as of the last session, was at the doors. The other one was here with Elizabeth and Riot. The two in here, the king and the queen, are the two you've met before in Elizabeth Everly's mansion. The king being Gregory. Now, we're going to start with Riot this time. Outside of the mansion, in the truck, together with Elizabeth Everly. Riot, I'm going to go to your sheet right now and remind you of your ambition and of your desire. Your ambition was to destroy the vampire. Your desire was to help the old woman. You were not in the worst position in order to do both of these. You see these armed people who are going towards the mansion, and they probably want the blood of your new vampire friend. I'm saying this, making the movement with my fingers. You are next to the old woman, which you are trying to help. Do you or will you use this situation to advantage your ambition and desire, and maybe take a more passive stance as events unfold?
Not to say that you read my mind, but you totally read my mind.
So can you put it in your own words of what you really want to do here, Riot?
I think I'm going to play it safe and just stick with Everly. Hopefully, myself can make it out alive, but right now, she's just focused on the two of them.
I see. There is a guard next to you, still looking at you very suspiciously. Partially glad that he managed to get at least one of the people from inside of the house outside. And as you look outside of the car's window, of the truck's window, and you see the mansion in the background, you see a person walking towards it, a person that's walked here, and they're armed. You are not sure exactly what kind of guns or whatever arsenal the person carries, as it's too dark to say. But behind this person, after a little bit, you see another movement coming from the same location where you've parked the car before with Goldie. This movement we're going to explain a little bit later. We're going back to Ripley. Ripley, you are inside the room with Christopher. Christopher the vampire, who right now is pacing around, or actually stands around the machine that grows in front of you, as you are clearly not necessarily in the world that you know, the world of the living, the side of the world that you are familiar with. You do not feel safe here. Your drive, vengeance, your ambition, attempt to find out what killed Grace, and your desire protect the cell. From whom do you want to protect the cell the most?
It was just general harm. So, anything that's posing a threat. Active threat, I suppose.
Do you see Christopher the vampire as a threat?
Weirdly enough, Ripley does not yet.
All right. So, as you see Christopher just standing in front of the machine and you see your way out through the doors, the last thing you wanted to do is get out of there and get back to your cell. But as you try to do so, you hear a voice from behind coming from the machine. It's Grace's voice. It calls for you.
And Ripley knows that there's trouble coming, right?
Yes.
They were told.
You heard the scream coming from Goldie from the corridor.
This isn't real. This isn't fucking real. Christopher!
Yes?
Can you turn that thing off? There's a problem that's bigger, I think, bigger than this, whenever this is.
Is there? What problem could you be speaking of that is not the thing that is causing all of this?
There's something. I've got a message from one of my cellmates. Somebody was screaming in the hall.
Are they sure it was a real thing?
I don't know.
Well, you could go check it out. I am not part of your little band of investigators.
Fine. Can Ripley leave the room?
You attempt to leave the room, leaving Christopher behind. I will leave it at that. Goldie, you see into the room and you have a very clear sight on what is happening there. You see Christopher clearly being very fascinated with the machine. You see Ripley, who tries to get out of the room looking different, darker, and definitely a little bit more like this twisted side of reality you've experienced before with Vicky, with the boxing ring, with the fight and the marbles. Christopher is, in some way, a key to your ambition, a key to your drive. What is your priority now here, Goldie?
Goldie's priority is still Elizabeth, but she's not aware, obviously, of all the ramifications of drinking blood from a vampire. But she knows she saw Vicky drinking blood from someone, and she knows she saw Christopher using his blood to do things. So her priority is going to try to get into that room or to get Christopher to come out and ask for blood in order to help his daughter.
Wow, so you are, among all of this, you are focusing slowly of the magical thing that potentially flows in Christopher's veins.
Yes.
Do you try, as Ripley is trying to get out, do you try to get in? Or are you still waiting for Christopher to potentially go outside?
Goldie just yelled into the room. If she sees Ripley coming out, then she would let them go by first.
Okay. We're going to leave it at that. Miles, you were on your way downstairs in order to meet whoever was knocking at the doors. You did not know who. You only know from Goldie that a text was received saying that there's trouble, and you've heard the knock on the doors. You wanted to go down there to what? Stall for time?
Would it be a safe assumption? Well, I guess maybe not, because they're supposed to arrive tomorrow, yes?
Mm-hmm. They were originally supposed to arrive tomorrow, yes.
Miles would be planning on stalling whoever this is at the door, at least figuring out who it is and going from there. Preferably shooing whoever it is away, but we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, I am going to give you one more decision that you can make right now, and that decision is tied to someone else appearing in the room. As you are walking down the stairs, you can see on the other side of the room a figure, a half translucent figure that materializes in front of you, looks just like you. It's Christopher, your brother, who looks straight at you and says, Miles, I think I have some answers right now, but we need time. We need to be undisturbed for some time. If you want to know the answers, follow me. And he says so, going towards this room.
Miles will look back at Goldie.
Goldie, you've heard the voice from behind you. If you
Miles, it's not, whatever this is, it's not real. What matters now are the living.
Miles will simply say, handle the door, and he'll follow Christopher into the room.
Let's see. All right. Decisions. There is one more person at the table who we haven't asked yet about the purity. And that person is Christopher. Christopher, I would like to remind you of the days, months, weeks you've spent in this mansion. And especially the latest months as you were trying to discover the source of whatever was happening to your dear Elizabeth. Trying to discover the source of whatever supernatural being was there. You assumed the house is somehow haunted. You assumed the work of the Wraiths. You were trying to locate the fetters, but you were unsuccessful, at least until today. Tonight, as you were trying to find the fetters, you've noticed all of these marbles, which seemingly weren't there before, or as you've seen them running away from you actively, were trying to hide themselves from you. It seems that now the marbles, or whatever the machine stands in front of you, is protecting itself from you. You've received 1 aggravated willpower damage already from hearing the hum growing in your ears and trying to almost penetrate the remainings of your soul, whatever is inside of you. The hum grows again.
So, this thing in front of me, would you refresh my memory as to what it looks like?
It's a machine that is built out of gears and pipes, and it looks like a little bit like a perpetuum mobile filled with marbles who are following a path inside of it. using these little metal tubes, and they are moving behind each other, click-clacking on one another, creating the sounds.
Right.
From them,
Okay.
you've seen the connection to the souls that were surrounding the mansion. Some of them inside, some of them a little bit further away, more of them away, some descending to be closer to this mansion.
All right. So, do I see, in looking at this machine, do I see any obvious way of how to interact with it? Is there any obvious way of shutting it off or interacting with the machine?
Do you have any role that would allow you, any stats that would allow you to get some information about
I
that?
could use it would. I mean, I have no technology, so it would either be just a straight like intelligence or wits test.
Do you have anything in occult, maybe?
I do actually have I have 3 in occult.
Okay, give me intelligence plus occult. Keep in mind that your hunger is going to be at 2 now.
Great. Looks like I have 2 successes.
Perfect. That is not enough
It's fine.
to discern anything about. You could, of course, use your willpower in order to try to push it a little bit further, but you only have
One die.
Yes, and I also would like to put your attention to the little skull symbol that you have here
Yes,
on
I do.
your dice. This means that if you are, unfortunately, I can tell you already, even if you reroll this dice, difficulty 3 is not enough to beat this one. So
That's fine. I'll keep it as is.
you are suffering from bestial failure. I will allow you to pick a compulsion which you will suffer right now.
Let's see here. What have I got? Being the clan that I am, it would solving the cause of a death is something that needs to be done, and until I do that, I suffer a 3 die penalty on anything I do other than solving the cause of a death.
The cause of a death, well, it could be in this particular case, given that we are literally interacting with something in the Shadowlands. I would assume that solving the mystery of the machine in itself is going to help you heal from your compulsions. So
Yes.
so we don't have to solve the mystery of any particular one, Rafe, because there are plenty of them involved here.
Great.
Now, we're going to go back to riots. First of all, I'm going to take one thing off from my secret little box, and this is going to signal the place where Christopher is going to take Miles. And there is one more thing I want to take out of the bag, and this is why I did that. Riot, I told you that you see something from your position as you're looking outside of the window. You see a little figure that's walked just behind this man from the direction of the vehicle that you've left, together with your cell, a little bit further away. It's a cat. And it's a cat that you recognize from Goldie's garage. Riot. The cat is moving forwards. Elizabeth is there with you, clearly extremely distressed to the point you are afraid of her health and well-being. And your phone is silent. What do you do?
I really want to question the cat, but we have more stressing things at the moment. Miss Everly, I'm going to need you. I know this is going to be extremely difficult, but just breathe. Like, we can breathe together. And she's going to take their hands in hers and just encourage some calming breath, if possible.
The 3 people the two who were outside of the van and the one who was inside are now talking. They went outside of the van, giving you a little moment of privacy. Oh no, you're not falling just yet. And they are discussing together in hushed voices. And after a bit, one of them comes back to the truck. All right, we've decided that we need to ensure that everyone in the mansion is safe. So, excuse me, what is your name again? And he looks at you, Riot.
I'm not telling you anything without my lawyer, first of all. And second, I don't know what else I have to tell you. We came to help clean my grandmother's house, and now we have, I don't know, this increased threat. This, like, kind of just stares on daggers into the sky.
He just nods his head, seems a little bit impatient. Yes, of course. Now, why would you help me out in here and make sure that we are done with this very quickly and are able to all go home? So what about you go inside and tell your friends now, before we walk in, that the place is getting clear right now. We have Elizabeth Everly here outside, and he puts a pressure on this. We have Elizabeth Everly here in the truck outside of the house, so why won't everyone come out and regroup here on the street? Could you do that for me?
Are you putting my grandmother on ransom?
I haven't said anything like that. I just want people to be safe outside of this mansion, which is clearly currently in danger from outside forces that we are trying to help you with.
You see, that was a lot of jargon for bullshit. But since I'm really getting pissed off, and you clearly want me to comply, I will. For now. And then she's going to look at Miss Everly. I will be right back. Promise.
She doesn't look happy about this. It's like she almost tries to stand up and put her hand towards you and stop you in place. But she seems to be either weak or afraid of the man standing on your side. So you're able to walk outside of the truck. And hey, from here on, if you really wanted to, you can run.
Ooh, oh, yikes. I can't. They're gonna go inside.
Really? All right. You had your chance. There was a place here. You could hide somewhere here in the bushes. Just hide away from them. They wouldn't catch you, maybe, or maybe they would. You could have run. You could have used your TikTok, your fame, in order to probably get some help, but you didn't. You are going inside of the mansion. You can see the man who stands at the doors, who was knocking at the doors. He seems like he has some walkie-talkie or some kind of a communicator on him, and he receives a message and he steps away. As he steps away, he turns away, allowing the cat to walk in unnoticed. It doesn't seem like he noticed the presence of the cat, as the cat is now inside the house. You're walking inside. Ripley, you are able to walk outside of the room, and although it seems like the shiver covers you as you're trying to pass the barrier through in between the room that you were in and the other one, it's an extremely weird feeling, almost like jumping from a very cold air to a very warm water, or maybe the other way around. It seems like there is some temperature thing that makes your skin crawl. But you go outside, and you are here, safe, seeing only Goldie, no one else.
So Ripley rubs their arms, adjusting to that very strange sensation. Goldie, what's going on exactly?
I actually don't know. Riot sent me a text saying that we're in danger, which is like, duh, of course we are. And I can hear people outside.
So what are you doing? Does Goldie look like she's going in the room?
No.
Okay.
I was calling you, trying to get you and Christopher to come out.
Where did Christopher go? Miles?
No, the Christopher, the real Liz's father, the other Christopher.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care about his daughter.
I don't know what's going on, so I didn't
I don't know.
I didn't mention
Miles
it.
is having a conversation with his ghost brother, and I don't know where Riot is.
So what do we do?
I'm guessing whatever this is, it's bad. I'm guessing it's our friends from the other night. The people that said Monster X on their car.
Gregory
I don't know who that is.
was the man. I think we get out of here, personally.
Yeah,
This
but
Christopher guy, he's fine, but I don't know how long he will be fine with us. You know?
yeah, but I'm pretty sure if it is them and they come in this house, he's not going to be fine with them either.
I don't really want to be collateral or dinner, so I think we find everyone and get the fuck out of here.
Goldie will point to the direction that Miles walked in. Well, Miles is there. That's the extent of my knowledge.
Do you want to come with me to get Miles?
Give me one shot to get Christopher out of the room.
I don't want to split up. I'll go with you. I don't want to go near the ghost. There's something in there too, but I'll stick with you.
Goldie will not go in the room then, and will just shout in to Christopher. Hello? You gonna come out?
Is there something you particularly need my help with? People
don't-
who came here to get rid of me?
I don't know. You want to stay in that room while they come in and fill you up with lead?
If I can stop this, they won't find me. What is the issue that you all so desperately want my help with?
We want to protect your daughter.
As soon as she says that, Christopher whips around and goes, "Is something happening to her?"
She's not here. Neither is one of our friends.
You could have said that earlier, and he tries to charge out of the room.
You try to charge out of the room. As you do so, and everyone can hear that, the hum is growing more and more and more. The sound penetrating your very undead being, Christopher. You receive a second point of aggravated willpower damage. Christopher, I know that you, or the player that plays you, has read a certain book about a specific clan that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
A book that also details how vampires would act and how the, let's say, physicality of the vampires works in the other lands, the Shadowlands, not the Skinlands, not the place where we are in. And if I can only quote you one thing, if you lose all of your willpower here, you will not come back. Vampires destroyed in the Shadowlands disappear in a vortex of blood and ash, sucked into the false earth beneath their feet.
Mm-hmm.
Second aggravated willpower damage as you spend a little bit too much time around this device. Now, we're going to the room that we haven't seen just yet. And this room, well, it seems like Elizabeth Everly's room, but it also seems like maybe she wasn't using it a lot for the past a lot of years, as this room seems like taken straight from 1960s, maybe even 1950s. Even the clothes that you can see, some of them still hanging on the outside of the wardrobe, look like they would fit on a much younger woman, and they have a much younger fit. Miles, as you walk into the room, you are surrounded by the same bluish glow, bluish tint. The place is dark, and the place looks similarly to how you felt when you landed in what seemed to be the alley in which Christopher has died, with the voices around you. You can hear some whispers as you walk inside of the room, and Christopher stands on the other side of it, looking at you, this time more calmly.
What are we doing here, Chris?
Normally I would ask you the same question, but I know exactly what you're doing. Now I think we are trying to do the same thing. I always thought that we are very different, Miles. I thought that you were driven by other things in your life than I was. And I do know that my life has ended, but one thing that hasn't ended with it is my curiosity. The same thing that brought me here. I want to know what's happening here. And I think I have a key to know what is going on.
Will that stop it? Will that help you rest?
See, that's the thing, brother. I don't want to rest. I want to stay exactly where I am, as this will allow me to, at least partially, I hope so, continue my investigations, my many investigations I've started when I was still living. And I do not plan to retire just yet.
So what do you plan to do? You said you found the key.
My fear was that you, by coming here and by interfering in my businesses, let's say, you will cause me to retire shortly, Miles. I do not want to go. The thing that you carry here, the marble, is a key to understanding what's going on in here.
Miles will pull it from his pocket and give it a once-over.
Just a little bit ago, I don't know, the time flows differently here. I would really badly want to snatch it from your hands and somehow punish you from trying to steal from me, but it seems like, in some weird way, I have to thank you. Miles, have you seen the machine? And he points with his chin towards the room on the other side. You've seen it briefly through the shoulder of Goldie, but you never had a chance to really focus on it.
That weird thing on the desk in there? No.
See, it's a weird thing, this house. A lot of us here on this side were pulled in here, thinking that this house holds what holds us to this world, to this plane, to be able to still somehow have a connection to the mortal world. None of them has seen the marbles. All of them seen what they desired, what they longed for, what they missed, their unfinished businesses. We call them the fetters, things that keep us here in this, whatever plane it is. I haven't cracked it fully just yet. I am doing some progress though. The marbles were doing a very good job of pretending to be these things, of pulling us near them, and it seemed that only I was different, as I when you were carrying it at least, I saw just a marble. Do you know what I've seen before, Miles? When I was here in the house, when I was around the remainings of my body left in the alley. Do you know what I've seen there constantly in the same alley?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say spooky ghosts.
Well, that would be probably easier to understand. No, Miles, I've seen you. You were there all the time for me. For some reason, I didn't know why. When I was tied to the alley in which I died, I saw you standing there, doing nothing. It's like I was worried. I didn't know what happened to you. But then, the real you came. The real you took the marble. And then I was able to see the truth. What I've seen was but an illusion. And what keeps me here, Miles, is you.
I don't understand.
You do not have to. The only thing that you have to understand is that the marbles pose an illusion, not only to us here, maybe also to you. They are destructible, they are frail, but none of us wanted to destroy them, thinking that they pose a much bigger weight than they really are. I thought that if you were to destroy the marble, I would cease to exist. I would go somewhere I don't know where, and I wouldn't be able to finish my work, Miles. I give you this information because I trust that you understand me. I trust that you know the curiosity that drives me. I want to know more. You, I believe, and if I am not right, this will be the biggest mistake of my whole dead and undead existence. I believe you can destroy the marble, and I will not cease to exist. And I believe we need to destroy all the marbles in this house in order to free it from its weight, from the burden.
How many are there?
Many, but it seems like they are prone to a certain chain reaction. I've seen what happened when your friends managed to destroy some of them. The other ones were frail and ready to be destroyed again, and what's more, the ones that were destroyed showed the wraiths, the ghosts who were attached to them, that they weren't true. See, the mortal world is not the only one where rumors spread. And if we are able to destroy more, I'm sure I will be able to get more people on this side to help us.
Destroy the marbles. Amass the Miles looks sort of deflated that he's about to even say the word. Spirits. Is that the long and short of it?
Yes, I am not exactly sure if my assumption is right, but I am willing to risk it right now in order for you to progress with this. I believe, Miles, you can destroy the marble that you have right now in your hands, and if I will still stay here, we will know that what I say is true.
And if you're wrong, you're gone forever.
Yes. I am willing to take that risk.
Miles will hold it up, eye level, between his index finger and his thumb, and say, "You're certain?"
I am not, but I'm willing to risk it. I thought you said goodbye to me already, Miles. It will be only a second one.
Miles exhales slowly and then crushes the marble.
All right. We're going to go back to you shortly, Miles. Riot, you are led through to the mansion, and you are able to land on the base floor, seeing the cat just going a little bit upstairs, looking back at you and doing a meow. Goldie, Replay, you also hear that.
My god, you piece of shit. What are you doing here?
Is that your cat?
Not my cat. It's the cat. Goldie will pick them up.
The cat just goes to you immediately, like pushes itself towards your legs, and seems to be very happy as you pick it up.
This cat,
Why
I
does
swear
it-
to God.
Does it want food at this moment, please?
Probably.
Riot, what do you do?
I'm gonna enter the room with the gang.
The gang is almost together.
Well, the gang's almost here. I'm glad you were having your homeward bound moment, but we have problems.
What's going on?
Our ghost hunting company, what have you, they're here. Monster X, I think. They have Miss Everly hostage in a van outside. And I didn't want to make any unnecessary problems. So if we get out, they come in, do whatever the hell they want, and we just take Everly, whatever, and just go. Let the house belong to whoever, let them do their thing, but we need to get out of here, please.
We can't let them keep her.
No, we
I mean,
should.
they're not gonna keep her.
We don't know that.
Look, they want us out. I'd assume, but I'm making some big assumptions, that they would just, let us have her, but I'm not in the right mind for this. I am very nervous, and I hate that. Aren't we missing someone? Twin and his ghost?
That room over there.
Okay. Well, I have you two. 3 counting. Can we just drag him out too? Unless you want to fight these guys.
Yeah, we are definitely not prepared to fight these guys, I don't think.
Is there any
Ugh.
indication that Christopher is coming out of the room?
As far as I'm aware, I am trapped in here.
Christopher, you are momentarily trapped with the aggravated damage that you just received, and you seem to be unresponsive for this bit when they are talking. You're not necessarily trapped though, so good news for you. You all see Christopher just not looking very well. Christopher, how would you portray aggravated willpower damage?
You see the person you met earlier this evening, while looking sort of obviously predatory and obviously dead, is looking more tired than you would have thought someone who's no longer alive could look. His shoulders are a little slumped. It seems he's trying to concentrate very hard. He will once again attempt to walk out of the doorway. As soon as he's able to regain his faculties.
Everyone, you do see Christopher struggling, but he is able to cross the threshold. And as he does, the place behind changes back to the office you've seen beforehand.
Is the machine gone?
I don't know. Look, all of you were in my house, and I would appreciate it if you just left, but you all seem to be having a difficult time deciding what your course of action is, so maybe I can make it clearer. If you don't leave my house now, I will start killing you.
Yes. Well then.
The desperation of the
Fine.
team, the desperation either to get out, or, depending on who you are, maybe Miles has a different sort of a vision in there, but your desperation as a group grows to 3. Now, as we are going back to the ground floor, you can hear the doors unlocking. And as we're going back to the top floor, Miles, you crush the marble in your hand. Your eyes lock with Christopher's. You do not read anything from his face. It doesn't seem like it's either fear or relief or anything like that. But suddenly, the room goes back to normal. And Christopher, your brother, is not there. And the marble is gone.
Miles will look up to the ceiling and whisper, I hope you know what you're doing. He'll back out of the room.
You see the group of lovely people together. Christopher, Miles hasn't heard what you said before.
Christopher is just... What is the response from all of you who did hear me?
That I'm willing to leave.
He's just staring at all of you after stating very clear terms.
Right just throws her hands up. Fine. We're out of here. Or at least I'm out of
Go,
here.
please. Thank you.
Goldie puts piece of shit in, sort of like tucks them in her shirt and says, I hope that you make it long enough to save your daughter that you care about so much. Because they got her.
Yes, they are not in the habit of killing people. To the best of my knowledge. She will be fine. I will get her out of there. Please get out of my house. I don't know why you all are here, because obviously you don't really want to get rid of me. And you haven't really found how to deal with these spirits. So...
I might have a way.
Oh, do you? All of a sudden.
The marbles. That machine. Destroy them.
That would have been very helpful information 10 seconds ago.
I'll do it.
I'll
will
help
you?
you.
You'll go back into the room that has since disappeared. Behind me.
Worth a shot.
By all means, try. I'm going to get my daughter, and he storms downstairs.
Miles, do we go inside the room?
Miles will start to, and as he passes, he'll stop, and as if finally realizing what has been said, he'll say, what happened to Miss Everly?
Long story short, our friends, Monster X, what have you, they're here. Apprehended me, apprehended her. They're outside. They want us to come out so they can come in.
Well, that Newton's cradle was that machine thing, yes? Those marbles are the same, right?
They are.
So we destroy that, and then we leave.
Agreed.
Let's do it.
You go inside. Christopher, do you still go downstairs?
I do, but I go to making sure no one's around me. They're all still upstairs, correct?
Everyone here is still upstairs, as far
All
as I
right,
know.
downstairs, I go over to a specific bookcase and shove it aside, at which point that is where the postern of my home is the secret exit, and I will take that, placing the
Mm.
bookcase back in place, and leave around the side of the building, outside.
Now, before you will do so, I need to ask Goldie. Goldie, do you care more about what is happening here with your cell? And have you made amends with the fact that Christopher is about to either meet his final death or leave? Or are you still focusing on Christopher the most?
I think Goldie is not stealthy enough to have followed him.
You are
So
not.
Goldie's not.
But
I send the cat.
There is
Can I do that? What I don't remember what edges I took.
You took Beast Whisperer, and your cat not only has a weird as we were talking about this during session 0, the connection in between you is not necessarily natural. You are not natural at keeping cats around and being a cat mama. What you have in between you, in between Goldie and piece of shit, is something special. A special connection which makes this cat almost understand you. And not only that, but this cat, Goldie, is incorruptible, which means that he's not going to be easily swayed by supernatural means, and also incognito. He's very hard to detect. You have a very good cat, Goldie. And if you want your cat to follow Christopher, you can definitely do that.
Then that is what I will do. And Goldie wants to crush marbles because Goldie's good at breaking things.
Mm-hmm. All right, you are sending piece of sheets downstairs, and he's following Christopher. Christopher, you do not notice piece of sheet as for now. Now,
Okay.
as the doors have opened downstairs, how exactly would you like to go past the person who is standing at the doors? Now, here's the thing. Here's the situation. We have a person here that opened the doors. This is the room which holds the bookcase that holds the way out right there.
Right.
How do you want to sneak past that person? Or do you want to sneak past that person? Or maybe do something else?
Christopher is just going to, as casually and as, while still being quiet, making a stealth check down the stairs, is going to attempt to just not call attention to himself and walk past them. If that fails, a different tact will be taken.
It fails in a way that as soon as the man sees you, he's like, target is here, and he readies what looks to be a gun.
Then Christopher is going to rush the man at the door and try and slam the door shut, separating them.
I see. What is your strength plus brawl, Christopher? And do you have
Would it
any
be
discipline that helps with that?
No, I have a 4 die pool in that, but I do have fortitude, which I can take some damage, so.
Okay, so, well, fortitude is not going to help you in applying this force. It's only going to help you in getting some damage on yourself. So,
Yeah,
I would like
so
you
it would be
to...
a 4 die pool in strength and brawl.
Yes. Note, you're still under the effect of compulsion.
Yes, that's right, I am.
So
That's right, I am. So that would be a 1 die pool to do this.
Just a red die, by the way.
Yeah, so just a red die. It's a failure.
It is a failure. Now, Christopher. I
Okay, well,
will-
hold on. Can I argue? Can I argue that that causing this particular investigator to expire is solving the cause of a death?
Christopher, you are running outside of the place of investigation. This is why you're doing this.
Right.
What I will allow you to do, because of a total failure and you knowing your weakness, your personal weakness that is imposed to you not by your own features necessarily, but by the beast that you grew to know a lot more throughout the years. You know that you are not going to be at your best when you are still trying to to get away from the source of the problem. You might try to push through it. You do not have very great chances here, but if you're willing to get to Elizabeth is strong enough, you might just want to risk it and go through this. What you might also do right now, although you were noticed, is to go back. I will allow you to do both, depending on your choice.
Okay, well then. Considering the situation and me as the player forgetting I was under a compulsion, I will, in getting to the halfway down the stairs that I am and seeing the person at the door, I will then turn around and walk back upstairs in order to try and satisfy this compulsion, convincing myself that they will not hurt my daughter.
There is still time. Also, well, you've said before, you, as Christopher the Vampire, you believe that Monster X is not that much eager to kill the mortals. Depends on the circumstances, but a bloodshed is always a trouble. They're not
Yeah.
going to aimlessly shoot into the darkness trying to get you. Not yet.
Right.
The team was notified. You went back upstairs. Piece of shit is following you quietly, but does appear in front of you and goes back to Goldie. As Goldie, you see that the object of your interest is back near you. Anyone says anything?
Goldie will say, "Good job, piece of shit."
You named your cat piece of shit.
I didn't name the. It's not my cat.
All right. Whatever. Look. We need to break that thing. Or so you say. The spirit of the one who looks specifically like you, that you look exactly the same, told you we have to break these things. Is that correct?
The marbles act as a lighthouse, except instead of steering ships to safety, it steers them into the rocks.
We have to break them, correct?
Correct.
Great. Go find the marbles then throughout the house. I will attempt to get back to the machine and destroy it. How about that? We can work together a little bit.
Miles, this is the place where your brother has pointed to you with his chin earlier. Christopher the Vampire suggests that you go elsewhere to look for the other marbles. What is your preference?
I can no longer track them. I'm better here.
You are all insanely frustrating. Fine, let's all try and go in the room, shall we? The sooner you're out of my house, the fucking better.
Riot, you said you tried to play it safe. Do you try to play it safe now and not go into the room where it seems the interest of the rest of the cell is into?
You know, this room is looking really good right about now. They're gonna stay.
I
They're all
see.
smart and have muscle.
Goldie, do you walk inside of the room or do you stay here with Riot?
Goldie will try and go inside the room.
Alright, so everyone goes inside of the room. Piece of Shit stays here. Piece of Shit is not following you into the room. You are all here in the room, which I'm going to set it up this way. I assume, Ripley, you are going to be the farthest because you went there first, right?
Yeah, Ripley's going right for the cradle.
What do you do with the cradle?
Smash? Specifically the marbles.
You do smash it with any item. You do have a gun on you, but what is your preference of trying to destroy the cradle?
Is there a paperweight on this desk?
Christopher, would you keep a paperweight on your desk?
I'm sure there was a paperweight there from when I was alive.
Yes.
Paperweight. Yeah, use the paperweight to smash the marbles.
All right. You smash the marbles, and the moment you do so, the room goes back to blue. You all seem to be slightly pushed away from the middle of the room with the force coming from where the Newton's cradle was. And Christopher appears behind the machine, smiling right at you, Miles. Smiling with satisfaction. You see few of the marbles, its parts floating in the air like a broken glass. And Christopher, the vampire, as you look up, you see 5. You count them a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 of the souls slowly moving away from the house, like they were suddenly freed.
Not a very elegant solution to a problem, but I guess it gets the job done, and Christopher will walk forward to try and start breaking this machine.
So you hear the guard going up the steps, and the guard is getting near you. You're there together with Piece of Shit, but everyone else is inside. What do you do?
Pause. POS. Whatever your name is. Stick 'em. Go. It's like throwing your arms in the direction. Maybe the cat can attack the guard.
Goldie, you can hear this. You are the closest to the doors.
Goldie will turn around immediately and attempt to say, excuse me, can I help you?
The man walks in with a gun in his hands. It seems to be a big gun. You're not exactly sure the kind, because it doesn't exactly look like any of the guns available in the stores, any gun that you have seen in movies, video games, comic books, or in real life. Ripley. You all, if anyone pays attention to the doors, if you can see this man, he seems to be dressed from head to toe in the gear that seems impenetrable, by bullets at least. You don't know if anything else. And he looks inside of the room, seems to be holding his headphone in his ear as he receives an instruction and says, "Everyone can leave safely. I will escort you back to the doors. We want the vampire. You know that there's a vampire among you, right?"
I'm sorry, is this a prank?
No, it's not a prank. There is a vampire among you. Please move.
This has to be a prank. We are just simple cleaners. We were hired by the lady of the house to clean, and right now they are very busy doing something very loud and fast in there. I certainly hope, so we can be done and then we can be out of your hair. But vampires, come on, it's not even Halloween.
Exactly.
Listen, if you are going to not listen to my commands, I'm going to assume that you are under the influence of the vampire and I will start shooting. So why would you please move and leave after the vampire? Thank you very much. The guy seems to be not very threatening, just saying this in a very cold and almost simple manner. Just move. Leave us with the vampire. No more details.
Goldie's going to take umbrage to the threat of shooting her. So she says, so if I call the police right now and say, there is someone here who threatened to shoot me with a very large, obscene gun. And tell them that in this house talking about vampires, you don't think they're going to have a problem with that?
Goldie, can you give me a very quick reminder? What was the name of the police officer that was on the guard the first time we've been talking about the police when you were threatened by the HOA member? Joseph, was it?
Joseph, yeah.
The man looks at you straight in the eyes and smiles slightly, says, "Do try. Joseph is on the guard today."
Goldie's not going to say anything else, but she's not going to move.
Not gonna move, I see. As this happens, I will start with Ripley. Ripley, are you even paying attention to what is happening in the room? What are you focused on right now?
Destroying the marbles.
Destroying the marbles, just one by one, holding your paperweight and just crushing them one by one inside of the machine, trying to bend the tubes, crush them inside. Right?
Yes, and if they see anything, because this has gears in it, right?
Yes.
Ripley will look for anything that could fit to jam the gears.
Mm-hmm. Miles, what do you do?
Sorry, this thing is still in motion.
The thing is still in motion, yes. There doesn't seem to be any switch off button. Christopher is there looking at it slightly, but then he just signals to you with his head with a little nod and seems to be moving away as he tries to reach to the spirits who were now freed.
What are the strings made of?
Right now, when you are in the like in front of the machine, the Newton's cradle has fully transformed itself into a machine that is built out of gears and tubes. There are
Okay.
no strings per se.
I was just trying to jam the gears then.
Jam the gears, I see. Now, Christopher the vampire, what do you do? You can hear the man coming in. You see Goldie standing on the barrier in between the room that you're in and the other room. And also, as your eyes fix on what is happening in the room briefly, you can hear the hum growing again.
He's watching. Obviously, there's only so many people that can fit around this machine to try and break it. And I see that they're doing their best to destroy it, so I will turn and look out the door and say, "If you're looking for me, you're welcome to come in." And then I will walk over to try and assist breaking the machine.
How do you move?
No.
I see.
Goldie will say, it's not very funny, Jeremy. It's just a prank. Please don't encourage them.
As you are on your way to destroy as many marbles as you can, it seems like at least this is what Riot and Goldie says in the best way. Anyone else, only if you pay attention to what's happening in the room, you see the man receiving a lot of instructions into his headphone. Goldie and Riot, can you tell me what is your wits plus awareness? Let me see. Goldie 6 and Riot would be also 6. Huh. I will allow you both to roll that for me, and you cannot tap into the desperation. This would give you a big roll in here, but it is not in your crit field.
And I make
Wait.
an argument
Yes,
that
of
it
course.
is in my creed field. I am trying to protect the cell so they can do what they need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that doing things that are motivating or helpful to them is what is in my creed field. What is it? building, inventing, augmenting, or repairing, but we had it more as a social interaction, right?
Yes, okay.
Can I make
see.
that argument?
I am soft today. I will allow you to tap into this argument and add 3 desperation dice. This is going to also, like, you can choose how many of the desperation dice you can add, up to 3.
All
This
3.
will make the risk higher for you.
That's okay.
Let's start with riots.
Oh,
What
boy.
is your 1, 2 successes. You can use your willpower in order to reroll. How many willpower have you burned last time? Have you burned any?
I think I used 1. Yeah, I used 1.
I will allow you to go with 1. And let's go. You can burn the second one.
Okay.
4. Good. What about you, Goldie? Let's roll.
Can I borrow some of these?
Of course. Take them all.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We know Riot has 4 successes, which is pretty good. Ooh, look at this. Dun dun dun.
Oh no.
Great. Goldie.
I will also burn a willpower just to really make this stick.
I mean, you don't have to. I think so. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if you really want to, yes, sure.
I do really want to.
Okay.
Oops. Not that.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
2 more successes.
Amazing. I assume, because of the willpower roll, that you are not going to willingly fail this roll and go into despair. You are going to overreach. Because, a reminder, this dice means that you are now in the overreach because of the success of your roll. You can either now willingly fail this roll, and I will allow you to not use the willpower if you would do that, and basically fail it and not hear anything, but also fall into this despair. Or you can overreach, which means you will not get into despair, but you may risk yourself in some way. You may do something risky.
I will go into despair.
You will go into despair. You are willingly failing the roll. Okay, forget about using the willpower then. It's fine. You haven't used it.
Okay.
Goldie, as you reach the despair, you lose the connection to your drive. The drive being envy. It is something that was pushing you towards doing more and more here on the hunt, in order not only to take care of the cell around you that you grew fond of, but also to somehow get near Christopher the vampire. Now, in order to tap back into that special kind of a drive that gives you that edge, which you which makes this beautiful rolls that you have, which allowed you to dodge so wonderfully away from Vicky, which allows you to do a lot of amazing things that you know you're still capable of doing. If you want to tap back into it, you have to get into Quarry's good graces or procure samples of the source of their power. Now, I will interpret Quarry as any supernatural that is here in the building with you, and you are either getting to their good graces or you are procuring a sample of their power in order to get back to your full power, basically. How does that sound?
Awesome.
Great. Riot, you can hear something. Goldie, you cannot hear this. I'm sorry, but Riot, as you are trying very, very carefully to listen to what is coming through the headphone that the man is trying to adjust on his ear as he is readying his gun, the voice says, "Protect the machine. Kill the vampire."
If you don't smash that thing in the next 10 seconds, you're all screwed, okay? Then she's gone.
She's gone.
Yells out into the room and stomping off.
Okay, so that's what she says, basically. And she's still there, right? You're not trying to go past the man in any way.
You know what? I forgot. That was yeah, I guess backing away. Not necessarily leaving the room, but totally distance stepping away from the doorway.
So you're like, this
We're
is the
trying to get out.
Okay, so this is the only way outside of the building is the staircase leading downstairs. There is a man on the staircase right now that is protecting the way, and he has a gun. Are you trying to squeeze past him? Trying to just be casual, like, okay, bye, I'm going home?
I wish. That's not safe. Just gonna be on the stairs.
Be on the stairs.
Not like pushing past, but like right. Yeah, that works.
Okay, alright. So you are now, if I have to ask, first on the line of fire. Alright. Well, 2 more people seem to be walking downstairs. You hear the footsteps fast approaching as the man receives more commands, and he backs away with his gun ready, pointing upstairs at you, Riot, and through you at whatever is behind you. The other people are approaching. People in the room. What do you do? Now, Goldie, you see the man having his gun ready and pointing at Riot.
Can I do something drastic?
Always. Anytime.
Can Goldie grab Riot and throw them in the room and then attempt to get in the... not saying that the second part is going to work at all, but attempt to also get in the room and close the door.
So you are all trying to get inside here. Close the doors quickly as this man is pointing his gun at Riot.
Primary, getting Riot in the room. Secondary, Goldie getting in the room.
Riot, would you try to defend yourself if Goldie were to pull you?
It's Goldie. It's hot, mama. I don't think so. They're really frustrated and boxed in a corner. But as spontaneous as it is, I don't think they would fight.
Goldie, you need to roll me something here.
Well, that went so well last time.
You cannot tap into your desperation, unfortunately, because of the dispatch.
Nope.
Dexterity and brawl is something... brawl. Yeah, I guess you are trying to do it with your hands. You are trying to do the swift grab. Grabbing is part of the brawl. So yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, so it's sort of going to be a grab and getting Riot into the room and sort of twirling herself in there as well. But if she gets hit with a bullet, she gets hit with a bullet.
So I'm not basically... You can go either dexterity athletics or dexterity brawl. I see that brawl is higher here. This is an important roll, and also strength here is not going to be very helpful. It's all about the dex. So you better roll well. Yeah.
I'll try. Not great. I will spend that willpower.
This is a success, though. Right? This stopped like...
It's a failure? It's a failure?
It's a failure. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That's two. I have 2 successes.
All right. 5 successes. Great. Let me roll. Great. You are able to to grab Riot and move inside the room and close the doors as you can hear the shots. The shots are piercing the doors, and you know that this was coming. So you fall on the floor immediately as the doors close. Now, this is not a very bad roll. This means that the bullets have still hit the door and are able to go through it. The next person that stands there, right behind you, is Miles. Miles, you can hear this ruckus. Would you roll me dexterity? Oh my goodness. Dexterity plus dexterity. Double dexterity.
So 4.
4, yes. You cannot tap into your desperation here. You can reroll using your willpower, putting all of your mind power right now in order to avoid the sound coming through the doors.
I'll do so. So that would be the 2 that were not.
Yes, you can use these two. Please note on your sheet that you're using the willpower. Okay. Unfortunately, the bullet that goes in, because this is basically a draw, so you have 3 versus 3. The bullet that goes in does touch you. It doesn't hurt you much, but you can feel a burning feeling on the side of your shoulder as the bullet grazes past you. You receive 1 superficial health damage. So that would be one of your health basically goes off temporarily right now. All right, yeah, we're going to note it this way so we know what's going on. So, something appeared on the table in the meantime. Here on the side, we have our very simplistic, but let's say effective turn order. We are going to not drag this endlessly. The shots that came from the man and the dodge from Goldie towards the room started a combat scene. Combat scene that you're all involved in, but there is a caveat in here that this is not only a combat scene, but also you're trying to smash the machine and destroy the machine. We are going to play a 3 turns and out game where everyone will only get 3 actions, of course, as long as you are going to survive until the end of the actions taken. And after that, we're going to resolve the situation at hand. You may use your actions in order to destroy the machine. You may also use them in order to somehow either escape or fight against the people coming for you. We are starting with the man who got tricked somehow by Goldie just before, trying to push Riot towards the room. Now, I do know that they allowed the same man to shoot his gun just beforehand, so in this first round of his, he's not going to shoot again. Instead, what he's going to do is you're all going to hear a loud thump on the doors as someone is trying to kick them open from the other side. This kick was strong and almost, yet not fully, opened the doors. Ripley, it's your turn.
How is the machine looking?
It is taller than you. You are, I believe, the tallest in the room, depending on how tall Christopher the vampire is. You might be similar in height. But it is taller than all of you. Not too much, though. Just about, let's say, 250 centimeters. You might count that into feet. I have no idea how much it is in feet. But 250, and it is almost cubical, basically. A little bit taller than wider, but yeah.
Does it look like we're making any progress?
You are destroying the marbles, and as the marbles crash, the spirits, which, if you notice, if you look above, you can actually see some little figures, which are moving around in a wispy manner around the mansion. Some of them lose that connection and start roaming freely. Christopher, the ghost, is there to meet them. and seems to be haphazardly going towards them, talking to them. There's some movement going on around the house. So there's definitely something happening, you're just not sure if it's good.
Has jamming anything into the gears stopped it or helped slow the progress?
Question, Christopher the vampire, what would be in your office? What items would be in your office at the walls away from the center?
There would be bookcases full of books. There's probably a few knickknacks and other items. It was a pretty normal office. I wouldn't say there's anything like, ostentatious like swords on the wall or anything like that. That doesn't exist. It's just a pretty basic, nicely furnished but basic office.
Mm-hmm.
What about like a metal statue, like a small statue, but like a figurine or something?
Like a bust. There could be a bust on a pillar or something like that. Something.
Would that fit?
Not really. I mean, you could slam a book there if you want to.
Yeah,
There's a
I mean,
lot of
Ripley
pretty
was
heavy
doing
tomes.
this previously, so I guess that's my question, if it looks like the book route had worked.
So you tried to slam the book with a hardcover into the gears, and it did work for just a bit. One of the gears stopped working. The others were still moving. There was some jam in the machine. Some marbles started moving more slowly than beforehand, but as the machine progressed for like 10-15 seconds more, the book just started to slowly give way into the metal gear, piercing through it and ripping it to parts.
Thank you for that. That was an expensive book.
No problem. All right, so for turn order, I guess. Ripley will call out to please barricade the door, stop them from getting in here. And if they, while they're calling that out, can they glance around for any kind of exit to this room, like a window? I know they're on the second story, but
Yeah.
is there a window?
There is a window here on this side, looking outside in there. It is a second floor basically, so the fall would be high, but you are in this weird shadowy sort of a version of this world. Everything seems to be a little bit twisted. When you look outside, you do not see the regular garden of Elizabeth Everly. Everything seems to look almost like a swamp, with the ground below you being completely dark. You are not sure what you would be landing on if you were to get out.
Very well. Okay, we've got an out as well. So Ripley will continue destroying this machine as fast as possible.
Destroying more marbles. Okay, so you are not acting in any way towards, let's say, opening the window or barring the door, just screaming, please make sure that the doors are closed, and working still on destroying the marbles.
Yes.
Right? All right. Christopher the vampire.
Let me see here. Having that all of these marbles are somewhat, at least facsimiles of fetters binding all of these spirits here. Could I compel a spirit to assist in breaking this machine?
You would still use the fake fetter in order to do that.
Yeah.
But yes, you can try. What is the roll that you need to compel the spirit?
Resolve plus my oblivion score.
How many dice do you have in that total?
That would be a total of 5 dice.
Total of 5 dice. All right. You do not receive any penalty here because this is directly involving what you are trying to do in order to solve your compulsion. But the difficulty for this roll is going to be free.
Okay. Let's see what I can do here. No, come back here. There we are. 3.
Nice. Do you have to roll check in order to perform this?
I do not.
Okay, perfect. So
It is a ceremony, technically.
do you compel any particular spirit? You do see Christopher, the wraith that is wandering around there.
in that, can I identify the fetter that would work with Christopher?
Yes, you. I mean, by the ability that you have in order to see the fetus is free. You have to activate it, but assuming you activated it, you would see Miles.
Great. I will use Christopher. I will look at Christopher and in activating this ceremony, be like, if you're so clever, why don't you assist us in breaking this? And I will compel the other Christopher to help.
I see. Well, Christopher doesn't seem to be happy about this, but he cannot say anything as he floats back towards the machine and helps you in destroying the fetus. Now, the turn order moves forward towards the piece of shit. Now, this is going to be funny. I specifically made this little order here so that we have one of the orc members acting in between you and piece of shit, Goldie. Piece of shit is outside. You know that your cat is behind the doors. You can hear a loud meow as you do so. And, well, this probably has attracted the attention of someone down there. Goldie, what would you want piece of shit to do? I do not promise you that that will happen, but what would you want him to do?
The time for stealth is long over, so Goldie would just hope that the cat is smart enough to leave.
I see. All right. I'm not going to tell you what is happening behind the doors as for now, but I'm going forward towards the next orc member. This is the woman who has been in Everly's mansion with Gregory beforehand. The woman stands in the middle of the man who was pointing the gun at you and Gregory, who is still going up the stairs. Now, the second thump on the doors is heard, and this breaks the doors. You see the splinters falling towards the machine, making the opening in between the door and you. Behind the doors stands a woman pointing the same weird big gun in the middle of the room. The first person being there is Goldie. That was her action though. Goldie, now is yours.
Is the door completely broken?
Yes.
Or is it just splintered?
It is open. It's broken and open.
Okay, Goldie would have attempted to bar the door, but
the gun is right in front of you. It points at you. Hasn't shot yet, but damn, it's a big gun. Whatever is inside.
and there's two people, right?
You can just see one right now, but you know that there is a second one because you've seen the other one. This one has a different silhouette.
Okay. Goldie is going to rush them.
Forward.
Yes.
All right. Amazing. Please do give me strength plus roll.
2,
6.
6, thank you.
No, you cannot still tap into desperation. You haven't gotten into the
No.
voices of the quarry just yet. No, there was no time.
might not get the chance. Oh, I'll just spend more willpower. That's fine.
Free spent. We have still 2 left.
Let's do that. This is fine.
Definitely fine.
Nope.
Ooh, okay. I am going to roll back for the woman. You had two successes, right?
Yep.
Defense roll. Oh, okay. As you are trying to push past the woman with all your strength, Goldie, it's not as it used to be. You know well, especially with the despair that lingers now in your mind. You are so perfectly aware of your weaknesses as they grew throughout the time and how much you wanted to somehow supernaturally augment yourself in order not to be a weakling. As you try to crash into this woman who has a more frail posture than you do, seems to be smaller, seems to be thinner, she stands her ground strongly, and as you crash into her, she doesn't shoot you, she doesn't do anything with her gun. Instead, she puts a hold on you, twists you around, pulls another gun from her belt, puts it into your head, and says, "Everyone, get out now, or I will shoot." Miles, it's your turn.
I can see that Goldie is now being held hostage, yes?
Everyone can see that, yes?
Miles will stop trying to jam things into the gears. And very slowly, we'll start inching towards the door. Hands up.
Moving everyone. So you're going towards the door. The woman is giving away to you, so she's stepping back, still holding Goldie. You are able to get out.
As I'm moving, I'll... where's her finger? On the, like, is it on the trigger or is it on the guard?
It is on the trigger.
Miles will not try anything. He will very much stay in the middle of the doorway, though.
Okay, I see. So you are still blocking the pathway into the room with your body, basically.
Yes.
Okay, with your hands up. Well, you are definitely serving partially as a shield, as you are quite tall, Miles, and it is hard to see through you. The doors are not that wide nor tall in order to easily see through you, but it is not the turn of anyone else to rush you forward. It is, however, a turn of Gregory, who walks upstairs, holding another gun, dressed fully in what looks like an impenetrable outfit. And as he holds his gun, pointing it at you, Miles, this time, Ripley, would he know your real name?
Most certainly.
Margot, I know that you're in there. Please get out of there. Mr. Christopher Fraser, I did hear that you have something of ours that wasn't paid yet. If you are not going to cause any problems in here, we might talk later on about lowering the debt. But you must now obey our commands and let us go into the vampire. You are a hunter, aren't you?
I am. Get your own prey.
He just snickers. Well, that debt is still going to linger then. Margot, get out of there! And the turn is going to go to Riot.
Oh boy. Okay.
You're sneakily hidden behind the wall in here, so you're not that easily visible, actually, from outside. You see Miles going past you as he goes outside.
All right. I think it's time to be a little stupid. Riot is going to pull out their phone, and they're going to go live on TikTok and just burst in, cameras in their faces.
Live from the Shadowlands, basically. You are Wow. Do I get the rules of how TikTok works in there? No. Okay. So, okay, you're pulling your phone out, and you are literally going live on TikTok right now to everyone.
Yes.
Your camera is very dark. It's very hard to see what is on it. You can try to turn in flash, but it will only illuminate your face.
All right. Playing that up, I'm not gonna like ruin anybody's ears, but she's just gonna like wave around frantically, just making really distressed noises and just asking them to leave, and they don't know what's going on.
So you're basically playing into the camera, making the sounds that you need help. Do you state your location? Do you state where you are?
Not yet.
So just attracting the attention of your audience to whatever is happening in the... mainly not to really get the help from your audience, but to annoy the people who are there with you, right?
Pretty much. Step 1 of my 3 moves.
Interesting. Well, with that in mind, you had privilege of a location here as you were hidden behind the wall. Now that you're talking to your phone, making some gestures, making this little theater in there, they definitely can hear you. They know where you are, and they know that you're doing something shady. The turn goes back to the first man who was there at the doors. He goes towards you, Miles, and he tries to push you away from the doors. Do you try to stand your guard, or do you allow him to push you so he can get past you?
Goldie is still being held.
Yes. Finger on the trigger.
Oh boy. I will. Miles will let him push him back a step. Like he'll give way a little, but he's not going to make it easy.
Okay, so you're actively trying to like partially block the way, like slow them down, but you're still trying to like pretend that you're just giving way, that you're just clumsy, right?
Yes.
All right. The man uses his elbow to push you forcefully away, hitting you in the ribs. Now, I would like you to roll me. Let's see, what are we going to roll right now? As you're trying to absorb this hit, that's going to be strength plus stamina. 3 dice. Three successes. Nice. Great. He pushes you just slightly, but it doesn't hurt too much. You're able to stand your guard, your posture strong, and it doesn't give you any damage, any long-lasting pain. It's just basically like a peck. But he does squeeze at least at the same, like, I'm going to put him right there. So you are at the, basically together at the doors. You're a little bit behind as he tries to squeeze past you. He's now one leg into the room, basically. Right by Riot. Ripley.
All right. When Ripley hears their real name, they will have risen in the paperweight, but they do not slam it down. Instead, they place it as close as they can towards Christopher the vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck. This is theirs. And will follow Miles out.
Hands up. You're following.
Hands up, not drawing their weapon because they're wearing impenetrable armor and they assume that they cannot shoot through this. Not with a pistol.
I mean, you can try. You can maybe aim for the face, but they seem to have some helmets on.
They have the advantage with Goldie as well.
Yep. So you're just gently going out with your hands up. All right. You are now face to face with Miles, as you are basically it's going to be a little bit of a squeezing here, as this place is quite small. The guard, unnamed guard, has to move past you in here. You are two blocking his view on Christopher. Christopher, what do you do?
So just so I have this clear, the Monster X operatives are ordering everybody out of the room.
Except for you.
Except for
want
me.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to continue trying to break this, but I will... Can I redirect the other Christopher to do something else?
You compelled him already. Yes, you can.
I will compel him to do his best to start injuring the Monster X who's in the room, and if he can eliminate one target, move to the next and continue.
All right. I'm going to... do this. I'm going to add Christopher here as one of our parties, basically.
Right.
Actually, at the very end of the round, I think that's going to make more sense. And all right, this is going to be your command as you are trying to destroy more. This is like, so before the turn started, Christopher the Ghost was able to destroy some more of the marbles. He wasn't very happy about this, but some more damage was done to the machine. Now we're moving forward to POS. Piece of shit is angry. They're hurting his mama, and he's not going to let it happen. Piece of shit launches towards the woman who holds Goldie and snaps at her hand, which holds the gun. The woman yelps, the gun moves up, it shots, but it doesn't shoot Goldie. Her grip on you, Goldie, lessens. That was her. Now it's your turn.
So at this point, the doorway is filled with people.
Absolutely.
Okay. And this Gregory person is at the stairs, like just at the top of the stairs?
Yes.
Goldie would like to do some sort of kick him down the stairs.
Kick him down the stairs.
Or tackle him down the stairs, whichever you think makes more sense.
I mean, you could do like almost like a pirouetto as you are facing this, like the direction of the room.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Goldie isn't going to make it look like she's doing it on purpose. Goldie's going to pretend like she's fleeing in terror, but she wants to knock him down the stairs on the way.
Tackle.
Yeah, but not like sort of like a subterfuge tackle.
Subterfuge tackle. This is interesting, but basically, yes, you are stumbling away, controllably stumbling away from the woman who was holding you, trying to go towards Gregory and pretend that this is a fall, like, you know, a drunken master trying to smash into him and fall down the stairs with him, right? He's holding the weapon in his hand. Goldie, give me please, oh my goodness, either dexterity or strength plus brawl. It doesn't matter really which one. One of them is definitely going to work, but you have the same
6.
Yeah, 6.
Same 6.
Same 6.
Again, trying to be surreptitious. Oh man, I used up all my good rolls, clearly. 3.
You can still use a willpower. You burned 3. You still have 2 left.
I do, so why not?
Well, these are important rolls, aren't they?
Supposedly. Whoops. Oh, okay. 6.
All right. I'm not even going to roll the defense roll on your opponent, as he's not going to match that. You are able to tackle him down the stairs as he shoots his weapon, but it doesn't graze you, it doesn't go anywhere near your body. In fact, as you tackle him, it goes up on the roof. It turns out it's an incendiary bullet, and the roof is now on fire. Alright, and with that in mind, we're going to go yet another turn. I'm going to indicate that you're both now falling down the stairs.
My house.
Your house. Everly's house. Miles, squeezed in the doorway together with one of the Monster X operatives.
Okay, seeing like Goldie is now free.
You see the woman here, so you can have a very good look at the situation. You are basically in between two of the Monster X operatives right now, and one of them is now trying to fight the cat, but may very soon regain composure in order to force her attention back to you. And this man here is just, yeah, you're the closest target.
Okay, is there any way, where's this person, the one right next to me, where's their gun aimed?
It's aimed frontally towards Ripley. He's looking for a vampire, but Ripley is also tall enough that they're blocking the view, and Christopher is behind.
I have a dilemma. I want to go for the gun.
Okay, I mean, I remember your sheet. It is not very physical, is it?
It is not. Is there any way to do this in conjunction? Like, can I have Miles shoot Ripley a look, at least to signal what he's about to do?
Ripley, you see Miles, if you want to go with this, I will allow it, but only if Ripley is going to burn their next action with that.
Yeah, if Ripley sees the group going hostile now that Goldie's free, Ripley totally plans to start shooting if it looks like they still have the upper hand. So yes.
As Miles will try to go for the gun, Ripley, you will try to not physically help him per se, but get your gun and try to shoot the man.
You'd be distraction, yeah.
Okay, I see. Alright, teamwork. Teamwork is a good work. I will allow you to roll first, Miles, and this is going to be dexterity plus strength, 4 dice. I will allow you. Will I? You already got all the information, a lot of information you wanted. But yes, okay, I am going to allow you to tap into your desperation dice simply because they are on your way from getting more information. So, yeah. You can add 3 dice to this roll. You can get up to 7. Ooh. Ooh, right. Well, either you fail and go into despair, or you decide to overreach. You will succeed at this roll, but you will put yourself at risk at the same time.
I'll overreach.
Overreach. You reach for the gun. The man does not seem to pay attention to you as his focus is slowly on what is inside the room. He's looking for the vampire, and you were the first one to obey to the commands, the first one to go past him. He was not suspecting you to launch at his gun. You're able to grab the gun into your hands, to shake him off of his foot as he stumbles into the room back towards Riot. But as you put your hands on the gun with such a force, and seemingly you are very much shocked that you were able to do so, you accidentally fire it. And you fire it straight at Ripley, who is in front of you. Ripley, how many successes you had in here? 3, right? 3. Ripley, I want you to roll me Dexterity plus stamina.
6.
Mm-hmm. You can use your willpower. Make sure to mark it for successes. You curl in the way that you were taught on your trainings when you were working for Monster X, when you were under fire. You know what to do in order to avoid, especially someone who is not a very straight shooter. Now, this is an incendiary bullet. As it grazes you, your clothes catch on fire. What do you have on you, on the top, on your upper body?
Their shoulder holster for their pistol and a t-shirt that is tucked in and sleeves rolled up.
Okay, the t-shirt casts on fire. You do receive 1 superficial health damage as that happens. The bullet goes past you. It hits somewhere, like it goes through Christopher, who the ghost hits the back of the room. It seems like everything is slowly turning on fire on the back in here. And yeah, you are on fire. You will receive more superficial damage if you do not do anything with it. And also you burned your next action. So, oh wait, you haven't yet. The teamwork with the gun. Yeah, okay, I will allow you to do 1 more action. Because of the great success on the overreaching from Miles. Gregory. Goldie, you fall down the stairs together with Gregory. Will you try to keep him down?
Yes, Goldie will attempt to put him in a sleeper hold and make him unconscious.
I see. Alright, please do roll me for that. Strength plus brawl. That is going to be...
That same 6 dice.
Same 6 dice.
Oh my god.
What is happening with these cursed dice today? You do have 1 more willpower to burn if you want to do that.
Oh, why not?
Okay.
Two.
2 successes. Alright, I'm going to roll for him. Why am I so lucky? Alright. Goldie, he is able...
Someone has to be lucky.
Yes. He is able to get out of your grip, stand up, and as he stands over you up the stairs, he aims his gun at you and tells you not to move, pointing his gun at you. And the distance in between you now is enough that you are not able to do any swift movements as you would try to knock the gun out of his hand. You are temporarily immobilized. Riot.
Oh golly, OG.
You are next to the man here who has just now had his gun taken away from him and is like, he still has some weapons on him. You can see that, like smaller pistol, maybe some knife, but he is currently confused and doesn't pose a direct threat to you in the next 2 seconds.
Okay. I'm gonna ask just to for clarification. Did we hear the ruckus like the downstairs with Goldie?
You do hear the ruckus everywhere. Like there's a woman with the cat in here. There's the ruckus happening next to you. You are not able to discern exactly what happened downstairs, but you do not see Goldie anywhere near.
I would like to try to get to Goldie.
Mm-hmm.
And if that means like shoving past those 3 and hopefully getting past the lady with piece of shit, I would like to attempt that.
So basically you're shoving past everyone here, trying to get out, make a run, basically.
Mhm.
Alright. You make the run, The man is not reacting to you, but this lands you right in front of this woman. Right?
Mhm.
Good. This is Christopher's turn. Christopher has a clear target, and that is the man who... The Christopher, the ghost, has a clear target, that is the man who is right in front of him, and Christopher the vampire has compelled this wraith to act to his command, which is attack the first subject and then move to another. Christopher pushes this man forward, and it seems like almost like the incorporeal form of the room gives way to Christopher, who disappears with the man behind the wall. You do not see what is happening with them right now. The room seems to be empty again. This is the last turn. We're starting with someone who has no action right now. So we're going forward to Ripley.
Is the fire too haphazardly to put out? Like on their clothes?
The fire
Is it spreading?
Yes, it is. I mean, it is on the back of your left shoulder, basically. So your your left upper back is now right now on fire. You don't know how big it is, but it is there. You are also waving this fire right in front of Christopher, the vampire.
Ripley will just take off the shirt,
Okay,
rip it off. Can they do anything else, or is that the full turn?
this is all you can do. You're throwing the shirt away from you towards the end of the room.
Yeah,
Which
just
already
away
is-
from
yeah.
everybody. Ripley is wearing a binder.
Nice. So you're throwing the shirt away towards the back of the room, left
Yeah.
the binder and the your waistband and pants alone. You are ready to go, but Christopher, do you know what time it is for?
What?
There's fire. Very close
Yeah,
to you.
yeah. All right.
You remind me. What do vampires roll when fire happens? If you cannot, I will tell you.
Now you put me on the spot. I think it's a humanity test, isn't it?
Please tell me.
Remaining willpower plus 1/3 humanity rounded down.
There it is.
Perfect.
It was both. Plus 1/3 willpower. Okay, so remaining humanity, there's that, and then third willpower is
How many dice do you have here at this roll,
5.
Christopher?
5.
I will assume that you do not know that the whole building is on fire just yet. I mean, the
Mhm.
whole building is not on fire. It's just that the roof currently in the other room
Right.
and the wall in here. So difficulty 2 is going to be the difficulty you have to beat.
Wow.
Oh, right. Well, I am afraid that you are not able. This is the frenzy roll, which you cannot reroll,
Mhm.
right? Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep, can't
You cannot
roll it.
can't willpower surge any tracker roll.
You cannot reroll this failure, and instead, although this is a very nice special success, it doesn't give you anything except for just
No,
one
no, it has
success.
to be
It is allowed.
paired.
Yes. So, with that in mind, Christopher, you enter frenzy.
Yep.
And in this frenzy, you attempt to both run away as far as you can, and also you launch at the first person that is in front of you, and that is Ripley.
Yes.
Dear. All right. We're going to leave it at that, and we're going to go for it to piece of shit, who is now still trying to. I mean, has now just freed himself from biting the woman, and as the woman tries to do something to him, seeing the cat was the culprit behind her sudden letting go of one of you, piece of shit goes down the stairs, jumps down away from the looks of the woman and jumps directly back at the man's neck from behind, biting into it and trying to push him out of his footing, basically. The man still tries to hold his gaze on you, Goldie, but he seems to be shaky. His feet seem to be moving left and right on the stairs as he tries to balance himself and fight the pain as he is trying to shake the animal from the back of his head, both of his arms, hands taken by the gun he's holding. It's time for the woman. There's no cat anymore at her gaze. There's no one else but you, Riot. She points the gun at you. What would you do immediately after she does so? If this is a big action, I would have to wait for when that turn resolves, but just wanted to ask you what would be your thing. Would you stay in place?
I think this is going to be a pretty big action. I would take reference from my favorite anime, Soul Eater, and beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker. I want to take her and throw her down the stairs to knock the other guy off to free up Goldie.
All right. Okay, so this is going to be action versus action. We're going to. Oh my goodness, Riot! Look at your stats. This is not subterfuge. We can't tap into you. Okay. Fuck. Do please try to roll me strength plus dexterity, and do pray for a critical. 3 dice.
Can I possibly use some desperation dice? Or is that too much of a stretch?
Your Creed field is underground, and a subterfuge is trying to be sneaky. I mean, you could try to do something sneaky here too, which would be probably easier than tackling this woman down, but I'll leave it up to your imagination. If you are out of ideas, you definitely can just do that.
You know, I am going to listen, because you are trying to help me. Nix that. Look, I am on your side. Like, hands up, phone discarded, like tossed behind them.
Is it still live though? Have you put it off, or is the TikTok still going live?
I think it's still live. You just toss it aside so
Okay.
so she's not a threat.
So it's on the floor right now. It's just basically like you
Mhm.
tossed it. Okay, cool. So from there, yeah.
Yeah. If you could just help us get out of here. It's a mass confusion. I understand that you are just doing your job. I don't know what I'm doing, to be honest. So, gun down first, please. With a little smile.
Perfect. This is exactly the Riot that you are. You can tap into your despair. I will allow you to roll here for manipulation or charisma. Actually, are you trying to manipulation plus subterfuge plus desperation dice of total of 9 dice Paul, using 3 black dice.
All right. So, 5, 6. Oh boy. Big money, no whammies.
Oh, 2 successes only! You're not trying hard enough, Riot, but you can definitely use your willpower and burn something in order to reroll if you want to.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Let's do it.
Oop, not all of those. Boy, we're having fun tonight. If I can just get... All right.
3 successes as you are trying to sway this woman, actively trying to push you away as she tries to move towards the vampire, who is the main target, of course. And, well, I'm going to roll for her right now, just to make sure we have 3 in here. Alright, just 2 on the other side. So she definitely trusts you not to cause any more problems and instead focuses on trying to get inside. She tries to push past Miles as she's going towards the room, now seeing what is happening inside. And now we're at here. We're going to Goldie. Goldie, you have the scene in front of you. There is Gregory, who tries to shake off your cat, piece of shit, from the back of his neck as he's biting the man into the neck. And he's still pointing the gun at you. It starts to get a little bit dangerous as this happens.
Goldie wants to sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg. You're all risking a lot with all of these guns pointed at you, but definitely please do give me here dexterity plus brawl.
I have no more willpower to spend, so this better work.
Yeah, you better not burn any in here. You better not lose any too, because that's going to be painful. 2 successes as you're trying to sweep the guy. I'm going to roll for him. Oh, he has 4. You are unable to sweep his leg, and what's more, the man is able to shoot. Ah, Goldie. He is
That's okay.
Shooting you. Can you please give me one more roll just to give you like a little bit of leeway of maybe not being in complete mortal trouble, and that is going to be your dexterity and stamina. 5. 2 successes as he shot you with 4. How much health do we have in here? Okay. Right. So we are Goldie. He is, as he's swaying around with the big gun, he is able to reach for the small one and shoot you in the chest, which immediately causes 3 superficial health damage. It doesn't fully knocks you out of your living functions, but this is potentially a lethal wound. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave it at that right now. The damage is going to grow with as time goes by. Miles, you can see here the shots downstairs. You can also hear Christopher, the vampire, on the sides doing a sound that doesn't sound very human anymore. It sounds more like a growl, and there's a movement next to you. You can see Riot rushing down the stairs, and the woman tries to go inside of the room. Christopher, your brother is nowhere to be seen.
Am I still next to Riot? Ripley?
You are still close to Ripley, yes, but there is now like almost in between you, pushing past you, is the woman.
I would like to do all I can to shove both Ripley and the woman out of the line of fire, and I'm going to full auto the machine.
So wait, you are trying to knock Ripley out of the line of fire and Christopher. So you're trying to push her deeper into the room, or bring her back, grab her and bring her back?
Push her deeper into the room. Just
push.
Get them out of the way.
Are you aware, Miles, that if you were to do that, you would stand both in the way of the woman with the gun and Christopher, who is now growling very menacingly?
I am.
All right. I allow you to do that without a roll. You're able, because of the ruckus in the room, Ripley, unless, Ripley, you really want to defend yourself from that. But if you do not want to, then I will allow Miles just to do that, just to replace you on the line of fire of both of them.
I mean, yeah, Ripley's being tossed around by a vampire, I'm assuming, because they're in the way, so I assume they're not going to do anything.
Right. Now we go towards Gregory, who already had his action in here, but the next thing he's able to do is take the cat from back of his neck, using his now free hands, and throws it towards you, Goldie, as it falls on you with a sad meow. It's nothing bad happens to the cat. Just want to make sure. Nothing bad happens to the cat, but the cat falls on you with a sad meow. Riot. This is your last action you can take.
Oh boy. It's been fun, you guys. Riot's gonna go down the stairs and wait. So I forgot that dude was still there. What?
He's on your way. He's turned towards Goldie, so he doesn't necessarily pay attention to you right now.
Alright. I'm gonna take this earnest attempt with all my strength and might to push him down the stairs, around the rest of the stairs, and get Goldie out of there.
Push the man down the stairs, okay? I
know, it's not a lot of dice.
Okay, 3 dice.
Yeah.
Let's go. No scepter. I mean,
I can't.
Okay.
I can't sweet talk him.
Just because I am in a very good mood today, you are attacking him from behind. You are taking the sneaky route of trying to literally backstab this guy, which is a part of what underground hunters do. They do not go into the frontal fight, which wouldn't grant you the dice. As you were trying to attempt to tackle this woman frontally, that's not your style, but backstabbing, definitely more like it. Desperation dice it is.
Okay. Oh boy.
Okay. You can still reroll. There are 3 successes. You can still, if you want to, tap into. How many willpower do you have left right now?
I was running to my sheet. I have 1 more.
Last one. Burn it.
Yeah.
Reroll these 2. You can only reroll the 2 orange ones. Let's go! Oh, okay. 4. That's good. Going to roll for him. 3. You are able to push this man down the stairs as he is not ready to have that force applied from the back. Cat is here. He falls down the stairs as you walk past. Christopher, the twin of Miles, the ghost, is still gone. We do not see him now. The situation, the combat now resolves. This is the end of our turn order, but this is not the end of our actions just yet, as this is the Rotrek situation for our Christopher the Vampire, who now, in the presence of fire, entered the frenzy and wants to escape at all potential costs. The first person on his way is Miles. Miles, you look at Christopher the Vampire, who is now almost running towards you. Christopher the Vampire, what do you do?
I mean, I go charging through the door. If there is someone stopping me, I'm gonna go through them.
Miles, do you want to stop him?
Not at all.
Christopher, you sprint past Miles, who is now running outside of your way, and the woman, seeing you, points her big gun at you.
Is the ceiling still on fire in here?
Yes.
Okay, so I will then run and coming out that door, head straight for the the banister that goes over off the top here to the foyer, and I will
Yes.
take her over it with me because I'm not stopping for her, so I will hit her and push her with me over the balcony.
Okay, so this is her roll versus yours. Please do roll me. Again, this is purely your physical stats
Mhm.
without any discipline moving
Yeah.
there. But you are right now in a frenzy, so I will allow you to at least get one additional dice for this one. Strength plus dex, or strength plus strength, depending on which one is higher.
They're the same strength. If I'm using 2 attributes, then
Yeah.
it's 4. So, and you said 1
Yeah.
extra die.
Yep, you can use one extra dice
Nope.
die in here. No,
Get
no,
back
don't
over
take,
here.
don't take the Wraith. You Hekara, you.
Three successes.
3 successes. All right, I'm going to roll for her. Three successes. She is the defending one, so you succeed at this roll. She wants to shoot you, but you basically press the gun towards her. Her hands are now. She loses the grip on the gun, and you both fall through the barricade downstairs. Now, we do have the problem. 2 problems, actually, or 3 problems if you count the house being on fire. I will start with the most pressing thing, which is the fire. Ripley and Miles, you are in the machine room. The machine is definitely damaged, and you do see some of the wraiths, some of the spirits which were freed from the burden of the fake fetters, which the marbles were, are starting to gather around the machine and continue the job that Christopher the Wraith was doing, trying to destroy more of them, trying to, at least some of them like just float around trying to understand what is happening. One of them certainly just goes straight to the destruction. The work is happening there with the usage of the Wraiths, partially at least. You're not sure if they're going to have enough willpower, strength in order to destroy the machine, but there's a more pressing matter. The building, the real building you're in, is on fire. Do you stay trying to destroy this machine, or do you leave? Ripley?
Ripley will leave and start heading downstairs immediately to where Gregory was.
To where Gregory was. Miles, you curious person, do you try to stand here where the machine is, or do you leave, pressed by the fire around you?
Miles will go to the threshold, spin around, and hold down the trigger on the gun aimed at the machine.
I see. So you're trying to shoot the machine with the incendiary bullet.
Yes.
So, are you making the shot, or are you only holding your finger on the trigger?
Is it big enough to where I would need to aim at something specific, or would it be sufficient?
I mean, it's an incendiary bullet, so you do assume that if you're going to aim at it, then it's going to turn it on fire, at least heat it up a lot. There's a lot of metal in there, so it's not like it's necessarily going to burn, but there are some wooden elements. The construction in itself is wooden, so you could try.
I'll just generally hold down the trigger. I won't aim too much.
So no aiming, you're just shooting your shots towards the machine.
Yes.
All right. As you do so, more fire appears in front of you. You're not able to say whether it's because you destroyed the machine, or is it because the room turned back from its Shadowlands version into the normal version, into the office of Christopher Everly. Do you go downstairs then?
Yes.
All right. And here, first of all, we do have Christopher the vampire, who just tackled the woman down the stairs. They both fall in there. We do have Goldie severely bleeding, lying on the floor with what looks like a chest wound. We do have Riot, Ripley, and Miles running downstairs, and we do have piece of shit who immediately launches at Gregory's face, trying to scratch it off, basically. I will start with, well, Goldie, you're not able to move. You're able to say something, you're able to make gestures, but you are not able to move at this moment. Do you want to do something?
Since Goldie's never been shot before, I think Goldie would probably be in shock, so no.
No. All right. This is... You are slowly slipping. You're slowly losing consciousness. The blood pool, the puddle around you is getting bigger and bigger. The first person who sees that is Riot. Riot, you left your phone upstairs.
Yep, I did. Making great decisions. They're just gonna try and get Goldie up to carry her out. I know strength not my strong suit again, but somebody has to have a phone. Somebody else can call 911. We gotta get out of here.
As you're trying to lift Goldie up among all of this ruckus, everyone can now see the amount of blood that Goldie has already lost. It is a lot. It might be too much if you want to go back to your car and drive her to hospital or wait for the ambulance to come. Next person to go downstairs is Ripley. Ripley, what do? You see Goldie lying on the floor that's trying to be picked up by Riot, but bleeding severely. You do see Gregory, who is knocked down right now with a piece of shit trying to scratch his face off. He is trying to fight back. You do see Christopher, the vampire, brawling together with the woman.
Okay, so does Gregory look still like he's a threat?
Yes, definitely. He is just trying to pull the cat out of his face as he's crying. He might be blinded currently because the cat was going straight for his eyes, but he definitely still has the strength and still has the gun. He's still armed.
Ripley will take their pistol, go to Gregory, put the gun to his head, and pull the trigger.
Bam! The cat runs off, immediately jumps towards Goldie, meowing horribly, while Gregory lies down on the floor, his head bleeding, his body limp. Gregory's dead.
Piece of fucking shit.
Christopher, you are still tackling this woman. She's trying to fight back. She's trying to, get her gun. She also seems to put her other hands on the other side of her waistband. If you were to peek there, you would see a pointy thing that she tries to fish from there. She tries to fight you.
The purpose of tackling her was not wanting to do anything to her. It was just that she was in my way of going over the banister. So I will continue to stand up and run out the front door.
So you are ignoring her now.
Ignoring her. I'm assuming I'm still in frenzy.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
so
knock-
I will ignore her and run out the door.
You knock her, so she is now on the floor, lying there, and you move past the door. She is pointing the gun at you, and she is, as you're trying to go past the door, she is shooting the bullet from the big gun that she had in her hands. I would like you to roll me dexterity plus athletics, if you have athletics.
Yep, I do.
Yep.
Get out of here. What's my athletics? Okay.
You have two hunger, yeah.
Two.
What is up with me today? Well, the incendiary bullets hits you as you try to run past the doors. It catches your back. What will be your reaction of literally getting a fire spreading on your back. The bullet in itself didn't kill you. The fire is spreading on your clothes.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm on fire, I guess the animalistic instinct will be to put myself out however I can.
Roll on the grass. Just try to scowling, howling, making almost bestial noises as you're trying to... You're not acting here with any reason anymore. You're just trying to tap the fire away as you are slowly but surely consumed with it. Because of her action now, and because of her focus being on the vampire, and her orders being to eliminate the vampire, that means that in this time, the woman is not paying attention to the rest of you. Miles, what do? Do you do anything? As you go down and you see this mess.
Yeah, seeing Goldie on her back, presumably shot, Miles is going to move down, drop the gun that he's holding, and yell out, "How is she?"
Really? Not fucking great, okay?
We're leaving.
Ripley, what do? You shot Gregory. You still have an action that you can do right now, right after. There's still a woman that tries to scramble herself up from the floor. Slowly...
Does she...
Yeah?
Does she look hostile towards us, towards our cell?
You cannot guess. She was beforehand, she seemed to be just a part of the whole group. So it could be that her orders are the same than the others. You do not know what the orders are. She could be a threat.
Against better judgment, Ripley will attempt to stabilize Goldie. Ripley does have medicine.
Mm-hmm.
At least to slow the process.
Please do. What is your... Let me see very quickly. That would be... You are trying to do it on the go, so that would be... 1 medicine, 2 wits. Yeah, let's go for wits plus medicine. This is like... So your creed being martial, you are basically inclined to use this anytime you work directly against the quarry. Ripley, before I will say anything more, right now, who do you think your main antagonist is? Who was your main antagonist from the very beginning? What do you think?
Monster X.
I will allow you to tap into this spell.
Which is an additional 3?
Additional 3. But this has to be black dice, so these ones. Yeah. Sorry. Critical. Wow. Alright. You are able to tear Goldie's clothes apart and use them to create like a wrap around her to at least partially block the blood flow into the vein. And at least for a moment, the puddle around Goldie stops growing. You're able to stabilize Goldie for just a little bit longer. Goldie, you do feel like you're passing out. Your eyes, whatever you see in front of you, it just goes dark and more blurry as you are slowly slipping into unconsciousness.
Goldie, I need you to stay awake. I need you to look at me. I want you to tell me about the gym. What do you do there?
Would Goldie be able to speak?
Yes.
Goldie would probably just start talking, not realizing Ripley's talking about her gym, she would start talking about her uncle's gym from when she was a kid.
Ripley's doing everything in their power to keep her talking, keep her awake.
Is anyone calling 911? Riot, your phone is upstairs.
Miles would, yeah.
Miles is calling 911 and trying to call some help to come. The woman stands up finally, looks at you, pointing her gun at you at first, but rushes towards the door, towards the garden, the dark garden. As you can see the doors opening, the double doors are opening to the garden to the outside. The sky is slowly turning slightly bluish. Ripley and Riot, you are the two of the people here in this room, except of course of the woman who is now marching towards Christopher the vampire on the grass. You are the only two who know more or less how vampires work. You know for sure that whatever flows in their veins could be a key to helping Goldie. Do you do anything with it? Or would that be...
Yes. Can somebody help keep her awake?
Yeah, I got that covered.
Just talk to her, keep her talking, keep her sentient. Call 911. Ripley heads outside the door after the woman.
Miles is calling. Riot is with Goldie, keeping her awake. Piece of shit is licking Goldie's face. You are going after the woman. Do you do anything with the woman who is pointing her gun again at Christopher right now, who is rolling on the grass around him catching fire before extinguishing it on itself because it's a bit wet, but Christopher is still very much on fire.
Well, it is exactly what happened to Gregory. They would lift their gun and they would go right for the headshot where the armor is not there. Called shot.
From behind.
Yes.
She doesn't see it coming. There's no defense roll.
And really help put out the fire on the vampire.
You actually extinguish the vampire using your... wait, what do you have in order to do so? You don't really have clothes on except for your pants.
Yeah, he's not getting my pants, sorry. It's the good old stompy stomp.
Stompy stomp on his back.
Yeah, helps, smother. Maybe not not curb stomping the vampire, but, smother.
Wow. Okay, I assumed beforehand that Christopher was not going to get out of this, but now that we are at this point, Christopher, I will assume you received 3 superficial, 2 aggravated damage so far.
Okay.
From everything you've been through.
Sounds
but
good.
as Ripley stomping on your back continues, you do one of the superficial damage is from that stomping. This is heavy military boots on your back. But the rush wreck and the frenzy passes. The fire is at the back of the house on the roof right now. It's far away from you. And you are lying there on the grass, looking at your savior, Ripley.
Being stomped on, right?
Being stomped on. I mean, after the fire subsides, I assume, Ripley, you take a step back and
yes.
Christopher is able to roll around and look you in your eyes.
You put me out?
Yeah.
Thanks.
I told you we were not a threat to you. We need your help, please. One favor, if I ever see you again, this boot will never touch you.
What? As the skin on the left side of his face is just completely charred black.
One of my friends is dying. I know what your blood can do. I used to work for these people. I know about you.
Uh-huh.
Just help her, and I promise that if we ever see you again, we won't fuck with you.
All right. Suppose I can do you a favor for not letting me die. She's not getting any more, though.
No, no more. I already don't like this idea.
Yeah. All right. And he'll walk back in the house. Well, he looks in the door, and the roof is still on fire, correct?
The fire is on the second floor, so if you would walk back into the house, you would definitely smell things burning, you would hear the wood crackling, but you are not necessarily in the direct sight of fire just yet.
We'll add something to this. Have one of your people call 911 and get this fire taken care of. I would like to still have a house when this is done.
I've already done that.
Great. I will walk inside and go to attend to the one who's bleeding.
I assume that you are giving Goldie your wrist.
I will bear my own fang and I will cut my wrist and I will put it in their mouth.
Goldie, what do you do?
Drink.
Goldie in her state will drink.
You drink, and you drink, and you drink, and as you do so, suddenly all of your worries go away somewhere. The despair that you felt just a bit ago, it washes away. You fulfilled your envy, Goldie. This is the power you craved so much, and now it flows in your veins as you feel nothing but gratitude towards this man in front of you for lending you a fraction of his might.
Goldie will look at him in the eyes and say, "Thank you."
Great. Are we done now? Can you all
Yes,
leave
let's-
my house, please?
Yeah, let's leave, please.
As you leave...
Sorry. Christopher will walk back out the door and go over to the one who shot him with the bullet, who's dead on the ground, or is either dead or dying, and will feed on the rest of them
All right, you are...
in the bushes off to the side.
Yes, your hunger goes down to 0 as you drain that person dry, and everyone, including Piece of Sheet, is going outside to see the one last standing man of Monster X holding his gun to Miss Everly's head. As he works towards you, his hands slightly shaking as he presumes from trying to call to his friends, to his co-workers, that no one else has survived. And in his last attempt of trying to do something, fulfill the task, survive, he puts the gun to Elizabeth Everly's head and says that he will shoot her unless everyone helps him with killing the vampire. But before you are able to make any decision about this, we have a new thing appearing from behind, or from the side, from the darkness. We have a big, big, big dog that attacks the man from behind, biting straight into its neck, pushing him aside, slightly pushing Elizabeth aside, but she doesn't lose her ground as the dog goes at the man. You can hear screams coming from the bushes. Help! Help! As it seems like the Monster X worker is being mauled to death. Elizabeth stands in the middle of the garden shaking.
Well, Ripley had drawn their gun. Ripley was ready too. take care of this. They lower their gun, they look towards the others, and I want to go home. I'm done.
And Christopher's walking over to his daughter to get her.
You hug her. She falls into your arms, being so happy to see you alive. Or undead, at least, but still being there next to her.
Elizabeth. The fire department's on his way, but when they get here, I can't be here, so hopefully they will put out the fire. Once they do and leave, I will come back. Okay?
Yes, Father. Of course, Father. I'm so sorry. It's all because of me, isn't it? It's all because of me.
It's fine. You didn't know. It's fine. It's not your fault.
Stell, does anyone want to say anything to Christopher or Elizabeth as you walk past them?
Yes.
Ripley.
Elizabeth, we were never here. The fire was started by these guys. Whatever happened, whatever story you give, don't include us.
Of course. Thank you so much for all your help. You're truly amazing. And Kendra was right about all of you.
Christopher, I found your place because there's a hole in your little barricade thing. Might want to fix that. And maybe get rid of the cat corpse.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of all of them. Is that big dog yours?
I really hope not.
Okay. I'm mildly concerned. And he just starts dragging the bodies around the back of the house.
Anyone else wants to say anything to Elizabeth or Christopher before you venture forward?
Goldie will just say, so, what are we all thinking? Burgers?
Hospital.
Oh, yeah. Well, after, maybe.
Afterwards sounds great.
And
At a
as-
restaurant, not your food. No
You can hear
offense.
You can hear Christopher as he walks through the brush there past where the wolf was. He just goes, "Look, I don't know if you understand me, but if you do, I've dealt with enough tonight. Please don't do anything."
So no burgers for them. Well,
The burgers after the hospital.
the cat seems to be meowing as he agrees with you, jumps on Goldie's arms and continues licking on her face. And as you walk towards the streets, past the now empty truck of Monster X on the street and towards where you left the car, away from the mansion, you are sure that you see the eyes of the big dog looking at you from one of the bushes before you hear a quick rustle and it disappears. And you are all sure that you know these eyes from somewhere. And this is where we're going to end this story. Thank you so much for going with me on an adventure of Hunter Garage, of monsters and men. This might be not the end of the story of these hunters, but it is definitely the end of this particular story. Thank you.